Ten String Tavern, episode 17. Another fight one. We got Johnny Haught back visiting us from owner and head instructor of Ohio Valley MMA. And one of his fighters joined us, Stephen Carnage Carney, currently fighting for the King of the Mountain tournament in Morgantown. He's one round in so far.
Yeah, one round in.
Fighting in the light heavyweight division. Thank you guys for coming in.
Enjoy it every time.
More to come too.
Yes.
So what is it like going down to a tournament like this, being from the Northern Panhandle, coming down into Morgantown? Because I know last time you told me that you guys, not like a little ride, there's a separate.
Oh, it's enemy territory.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's us first then when you go down there.
And I'd like to ask him, as a, fairly new into coming in and out of downstate, did you feel like you weren't welcome?
Yeah, I felt
really
welcome before.
Yeah, I mean, not only is he one of the scarier guys in that tournament, but like it is definitively different when we cross over to go downstate. They just don't they don't like that we're part of the state.
Yeah. And they had like kind of a clique of themselves down there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They all work together, all the promoters, everybody. Now, the guy that he's fighting for now is well traveled. He's from this area, but he has done promotions in Florida and elsewhere, and he came back because he likes to build up West Virginia fighters.
That's good. Okay.
He wants to take guys like Steven, give them these tournament experiences so that they can get built up in record, and then, take them to the next level and maybe, get them to where they have money fights.
Yeah.
Where they fight big time fights in Vegas and stuff like that.
So how'd you get started in the fight game? How'd you get hooked up with him? And
well, I've always known about Johnny and people that he's trained with. He's been affiliated with my cousin Todd. He fought professionally for a good bit of years. And, I've always been, like a tough guy. I
Scrapper.
Fight, scrap. But I was small. I grew up tiny, bullied all the time. So I was always fighting older kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hit about 19, 20. I hit a growth spurt, and I didn't know my own strength.
Okay.
And I found out that I could punch really hard.
That's what he was saying. Like it's scary. And you're light heavyweight, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how big does it go up to in that tournament? Do they do heavyweights, or is light heavyweight?
There's a heavyweight tournament right now that they're having. The heavyweight goes up to whatever you weigh.
Yeah.
So I like where he's sitting with his weight right now. We had a really easy weight cut.
Mm-hmm.
Like, quite honestly, woke up at weight.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
And, like, still kind of hydrated and all good to go. So
okay, so not much weight
that's
cutting.
the preferred way to have it.
Yeah.
Usually we're doing a little bit of a weight cut at the end, but him not having to do anything the day of was perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when people talk about the effect that like that weight cut has, it's not necessarily like being a little bit heavier than your opponent. Just the toll your body goes through to cut that weight and then get into a fight is just so crazy. Because some people get pretty close to the point of death.
Well, they're starting to talk about it being a problem with your brain too, because you're taking away fluid, and you're taking away fluid from that area as well. So it's leading to, they're saying that it's leading to concussions faster.
Yeah.
Like the damage is multiplied by the fact that you don't have the proper hydration. Mm-hmm. And they're not letting guys, even at the highest level now, take IVs after.
Yeah.
So, it's almost to the point where it's like Joe Rogan said, they should just start banning weight cutting.
Yeah.
And just take hydration tests, and everybody just fights where they are.
Yeah, because look at the stretch that they're going with this new pay-per-view, because they had Volkanovski come in to fight Islam.
Yeah.
And Islam is so huge, cutting down that much weight. Volkanovski has to come up. It's nuts. Volkanovski has no neck either.
Volk won that first fight anyway.
Yeah, I believe you can't be locked in a leg lock and going, your guy's not tough. He's yelling to his corner, your guy's not tough.
Yeah.
And how can you guys separate?
Even when he was on Volkanovski's back, Volkanovski was doing the most damage.
Yeah.
So, like, I saw a fight completely different than the judges did.
Yeah. What do you think of Strickland being the new champion? You think he's going to last?
Not if they can help it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I think that's a
get him
media
out.
nightmare because he keeps posting. What do you think? What do you think of him, Steven?
I don't really pay attention to much fighters.
Nah. I enjoy him because he's off the cuff and he doesn't care, and I enjoy his style. His style is dominating.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody does a Jersey shell like
No, I haven't seen it so long.
Just walks you down.
Yeah, and checked every kick.
Yes, like beautifully.
Yeah. What do you think was going on with Izzy? Do you think that drop affected him, like going into the later fight? Because like the 5th round, I was thinking like he's got to do something.
I don't know. I mean, the guy's one of the most active fighters that we've ever seen. You know, the guy was fighting very regularly in high-profile fights. The Pereira rematch was direct turnaround.
Right, yeah.
And he just got knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that at a point, that takes a toll.
Yeah. So going back to the King of the Mountain tournament, it's a 3-night fight, or 3 events. Is that how it goes? And we're done with the first. So do you know, like, your next opponent going in right now? Or,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What do you think of that next opponent?
I think he's all right. I think he's skilled, got a lot of talent, but I don't think he's ready for me.
That's right. Now
I think he's going to beat his head in.
Now you're saying he eliminated like what you thought would be his competition throughout the tournament. This past event.
He pulled the best fighter that was supposed to be in it, and that guy decided that he had other things going on and he didn't want to fight Steven. So then they filled it in with the champ from the prior champ from the weight class right below.
Okay.
Which and a very skilled, tough fighter, but quite honestly, I think that was probably the toughest matchup he's going to get. So it should be interesting the next couple of rounds because it might be lights out.
And when you're training for him, is it more of you studying him, or are you just working kind of like on your fundamentals constantly, not worrying about his style? So kind of like a mix. Do you do like a lot of watching your opponent as fight prep?
I'm more so worried about me. Like, we're working on a technique and for any fighter. It's not just one fighter itself. We're focused on me.
Man, it's hot in here. I had locust wood and cherry wood going before the guys came in. I had to open up every window and door in here. I was getting so hot. That's wood fuel for you.
Yep, it's uncontrollable.
I filled up my because we have a supplementary oil burner down there. I filled up the tank yesterday. It was $999. Just I guess $1 short of $1,000.
You're like, I'm saving money, but am I?
Yeah, right. Yeah. What? So when you guys are going down to Morgantown, has there ever been a thought you could try to get an event up here to bring them up here?
Oh, we were just in Beckley.
Oh, okay.
Like we went the Hall. Yeah. Okay. we were really in enemy territory.
Yeah.
But like, I would like there to be a better promotion around here. There is currently a promotion, but I don't like some of the working parts of the promotion. We've got as close to as Parkersburg right now. I feel that with Steven, Corey Toth, and if a couple of our guys come back to training full time, I think we could demand that people put a promotion together up here.
Oh yeah.
Now the people that he's fighting for right now aren't opposed to moving around.
Yeah.
Like they had that first fight in Beckley. This next one's in Parkersburg.
Okay.
So, we get him to the finals. Who's to say they don't book a room up here,
right,
and do it up here?
You said before, was it a casino that you ran into problems filling it up, or the capacity?
Oh, I never had a problem filling anywhere up.
No, I mean, like you filled it up way too fast. Like it doesn't hold as many people as you would think.
The Downs was a challenge at times because they had strict rules on how many people could be in a room. we were selling $1,000 tables left and right.
Yeah.
And, you know, at one time, Travis Clark and I headlined a night. So, you know, if you weren't there to see him, you were there to see me.
Yeah.
So, like, we maxed that place out. But, you know, right now, I think comfortably that the Downs is a good showroom for that.
You could even, I know, like when we talk Civic Center, the way they did Alice Cooper this past weekend, they cut it almost in half and just had the bowl seating for them. That might be
the arena is just, it costs too much. Promotion wise, you're going to find a place that you can fit it in, but doesn't kill your overhead on that. Yeah. And the arena, you'd have to either fill it up or you'd have to charge so much a ticket that it wouldn't be fun to go to.
Yeah. Does Tyler Ball still work with you guys?
Ask him.
No, I can cut this out if I need to.
No, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
No.
I went to school with him. He went to Ferry for a few years.
T-Ball took a Joe job, and that's what he does. And
shout out T-Ball.
He talked about how much he misses the gym, but he don't show up. So
T-Ball, you gotta get back in here so you can get on here, talk some shit. Anytime I played in Moundsville, I'd run into him anytime.
Oh, if you're out in Moundsville, you're running into him. That's part of the problem. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, both him and Corey and a few of my other guys, like once we get full into training, the going out starts to wear thin because you don't have the time to be tired. Yeah. You know, and as you're working up through the amateur ranks, this guy's been digging in the streets of Wheeling all day. He's literally been, you know, when a guy like him shows up on a job site, he's not standing there watching. Yeah. Okay, so they've had him digging through the streets of Wheeling to try to get the streetscape done, and then he's got to come to the gym and train. And now he's working his way into doing the promoting of his fights and things like this, and it's just time on time on time. And you're hoping that at the end of the road it starts to pay off for you. Or, like, you know, some guys, they take that safe route and take a job. You know?
It's almost the same as playing music too.
It's a sacrifice. You take a giant risk. In this, I say it all the time. There's a fork in the road. You're either going to take the risk or you're going to the safe bet. And the safe bet is a fine life. Yeah. You know, you know where your paycheck's coming from. Everything's okay. You can do your life. Or you take the risk. Yeah. You know, I could have screwed myself when I went full into training. And full into fighting and owning a gym and stuff. I could have failed. Now, and I'm not telling you I'm rich, but I make it. You know, I'm making it, and we're succeeding. Yeah. You know, these guys are doing well. You know?
It's like when you're putting that bet on yourself too, and you tell people like you're putting in this time, but you're not like clocking in. People think I don't know. It's like people don't realize how much work it just involves in just your daily life when you have your own brand or your own like. If you're trying to promote yourself. It's they think like you're not putting in the time because you don't have that, you know, just official pay stuff from a company. But it's just
I'm clocked in. I'm clocked in right now.
Clocked in right.
That's the thing. From the time my feet hit the floor on, I'm clocked in. And now, you know, and he's pushing himself to the limit, and I'm telling you, he comes in tired. Okay, but he does it. Yeah. And he's trying to do it at a level that other people can't. You know, but the one thing you can control is how prepared you are. And that's what he's working on.
And so in preparation, are you doing a lot of sparring? How does your training go on?
Yeah.
Going into a couple of weeks, a lot of sparring.
A lot of sparring. It's war every Friday.
Okay. Because, I mean, that's controversial too. Some people just stay off of sparring completely, and some people do like Strickland does it like every single day.
You don't learn the spacing, and you can't diagram a guy in 30 seconds if you haven't done that many rounds. Over the course of the rounds that I've done in my life, outside of you growing a pair of wings and shooting fire out of your mouth, I've seen everything. So when the minute you start to move at the beginning of the fight and we're settling in, and I feint my little twitches just to see where you're going to move. I've seen somebody that moves like you.
Right.
I've trained against somebody that moved like you, and I know what I had to do against them. So then I just draw upon that.
Okay.
I'm always looking for the next round.
Did you try to find sparring opponents do you try to match like with his opponents? Say if like he's coming in south, okay, you just
No, I mean I'll show him in sparring what the guy's going to do. I'll give him an idea, and we'll have worked on certain ways to counteract what the guy's preferences are. But like when it comes down to it, I never really game planned anybody. Like he's ready to do what he needs to do. I want him to fight like him. I don't want him to fight like him going up against somebody.
Right.
I want him to establish his straight punches and then work from behind him. If his defense is proper, he should be fine anyway.
Yeah, right.
You know.
So being down in the wheeling streets and digging, how much longer are we looking at all this mess?
A long time.
Long time. I figured. It's going to look nice though. You can see it, like you can see everything starting to open up. People wanting to do business.
Yeah,
we just gotta.
You know, if you had to drive in and out of it twice a day, you'd think twice.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to look really nice when it's all done, but it is a lot all at once.
Yeah.
Like it's almost impossible to get around. We were kicking around the new idea of like naming the new city motto is "You can't get there from here." Because we'll be out on the street running. Like I'll take my cardio class running, and we're not sure what street we can get down by foot.
Yeah.
So
I was down Lowe's the morning of that Alice Cooper pre-party at the Heritage Port, and I was like, I'll just drive through town to get down there. I was like, no, this was a mistake. I should have just hopped on too. It was just so many streets closed, I didn't realize.
Oh yeah, you're getting rerouted no matter how you're going through town now.
And at that pre-party too, they were talking like they were saying, do we want these food trucks down on Water Street or on the other side by in front of the waterfront hall? And they're like, we can't shut down another road for like a party for people to get to the West Banco.
Well, I mean, I think they're having the Christmas parade on the other end of town.
Oh, really?
I had heard that kicked around that they weren't going to take it down through town. They were going to take it up by Lowe's.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'm not 100% on that, but I'd see why they would.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because, I mean, those floats shouldn't be going through.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
And where the hell is anybody going to stand? You could sit on a barrel.
Yeah. Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, it's just like there's just enough in those roads right now to like have the entrance to like parking lots. That's it. How has it affected you?
My business isn't a foot traffic business, so like my people are coming to me either way. You know, it's not that big a deal as long as they keep the roads plowed in the winter. I'm fairly good. The parking situation's been devastating.
Yeah.
You know, he drives a truck, so he's probably got it the worst.
Oh,
you know, his truck's kind of big, so he's got to find a spot amongst all that. Half the spots are blocked off, half the days. Like when you come into downtown, you better have 15 extra minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's going to take us a minute to get everybody to come back, even after they get it done.
Yeah.
Like people will be so used to going elsewhere that it's going to take us a little while to get them coaxed back into coming downtown.
It honestly would help to have coordination between the construction and like say West Banco. Just be like, when do you guys think it'll be done so we can start booking like the bigger names and try to draw in as soon as everything's ready.
Yeah, but you know he'll tell you as well as anybody that's been around contracting. I can't give you a definitive answer.
Oh yeah,
because every time they dig something up, they find something new that they didn't expect. Yeah. They were finding rail cars and stuff. Finding holes and like tunnels and all kinds of hell. You don't know what's buried under hundreds of years of concrete.
Our infrastructure is just from east to west, just slowly decaying. It's so bad.
Oh, I'm telling you what, if they didn't do all this, we were in trouble.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they just started finding all the stuff that's underneath Wheeling.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So this is the part of the podcast where I normally throw some advertisements out at you, but today we're going to do things a little bit differently and open it up to potential sponsors. Stephen Carnage Carney is actively looking for sponsors for his next fight in the King of the Mountain State Tournament. If you're a local business in the Ohio Valley, this is a great opportunity for exposure, and it lets a local fighter reinvest in themselves and in their craft. Johnny will mention this later on in the episode, but sponsors will greatly help Stephen reinvest in himself through better equipment, upgraded equipment, and it allows him more time and training on the off time. So if you're a local business in the Ohio Valley and want to sponsor a fighter in this tournament, get a hold of Johnny, Stephen himself, or even message us at 10 String Tavern and we will get you through to those guys. Before coming on this podcast and before doing his training, Stephen puts a full shift in working on the streets of Wheeling and trying to open up the city for all of us. So let's thank him by allowing him to get back to working on what he does best, knocking people's lights out. Now back to the podcast. I had a viewer submit a question, and I think it'd be pretty interesting for you guys to answer it. So, it's a goofy one. If you had to adopt a tiger in your house, you had to be a roommate with it. All the doors are open. You got to let it have free roam. If you were given $1 million per pound of that tiger, how big of a tiger are you adopting? This is our most popular question.
How big a tiger can I whip their ass, you know?
Yeah, just to take care of, you get $1 million per pound.
Per pound.
I said 10 to 20. Because I'm worried about, the thing is, I'm worried about it trying to play with me and just getting like one artery or something and I'm done.
I don't know. I'll go with 40.
40?
Yeah, I'll go with 40. Like, yeah, I'm worried about the claws, but like as long as I'm mindful, and at a point that thing's going to get used to you, right? How big?
Big as it can get.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
he's scarier than the tiger.
Funny.
So we asked Johnny this question when we did a call-in at a viewer submission. So submission, submit.
It's a submissive.
Yeah. When you get down to this tournament and you're done training, you want to go on your cheat meal, just go crazy. Where are you going? Where are you going for your celebratory meal?
I'm going to a buffet.
Buffet.
Yeah.
What's your favorite buffet?
The Golden Corral.
Golden Corral.
Where's the Golden Corral around here?
I know. I want the one down there in Myrtle Beach. Pretty good.
Myrtle Beach.
Golden Corral, like when I was growing up, that was the place to go.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's like the Walmart of food to me.
Yeah.
Like it looks like herds of people just running through. You know, you got the gravy fountain. Like, kids putting their mouth underneath it.
I keep hearing rumors of Ponderosa coming back, and then everybody's quiet about it. Then I'll hear a rumor of it coming back.
But you couldn't bring it back because you'd have to try to bring it back as it was, and now those standards aren't okay.
Yeah,
that kind of nobody's going to pay for that kind of steak again.
Right.
Like that was the 80s, 90s where that was going out.
Yeah.
Especially where we're from. That was going out.
Yeah, know? I think I don't know if it was Roman's podcast or something. He's like, you remember when you only got steak when you had a job promotion or somebody like graduated, you went out for steaks, and now it's just T-Bone Tuesday, right? Out back, everybody just goes.
Yeah, it is more regular now. Yeah. Now I grew up around a Black Angus cattle farm, so like I used to say, "Are we having steak again?" And like then I grew up, moved away, and I was like, "Oh, I've got to buy meat," and like that was the worst part.
Yeah, because when you have an actual animal that's like we talked about last episode that's been raised on grass. It tastes so much different.
Oh yeah,
its whole life. And then like I recently learned if a steak says grass-fed beef, it can be pumped full of hormones to last like quarter of its life and it still be considered grass-fed. It has to be called grass-finished for it to be.
Dude, you can't trust anything you buy in the store. You just buy it, you eat it, and you hope you don't die of cancer early.
Yeah.
You know, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, and you see like other countries like the banned foods list. It's like you never find a Fruity Pebbles over like in the UK or anywhere. It's not.
Skittles is the big one. I think California just banned Skittles.
Oh, did they?
That and like 15 other products that they were like, people should not ingest this.
Yeah.
But we could throw it at kids all the time.
It's that Red 40.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, well, I think when my daughter was like 1.5, she had like my mom was giving her like a little handful of like red sprinkles to eat, and I swear, like an hour after she ate that, the worst tantrum we've ever had to deal with.
It's like baby meth.
Yeah.
So how's podcasting as a
It's good.
Hustle?
It's really good. It's real interesting.
Yeah.
I'm used to, because they've never given me a mic on stage. This is like the first thing I've done.
Oh, so you went crazy with it.
I went crazy. Yeah, I had like a fever dream one night. I was like, I can do this. I know every single musician. I know a bunch of interesting people. And then like I sent you like a copy and paste message like, hey, would you be interested in coming on here if I did this? And everybody said yes. I'm like, well, this can't fail.
Right.
If I just keep doing it.
There are interesting people around here. There's stuff going on all the time. The music industry around here is really good.
Yeah.
There are good bands. There are good musicians playing. Everybody's got, John Banco took the reins and said, okay, I'm going to be the middleman between the owners and the musicians. Now, the bands don't have to know the manager of the bar or the owner of the bar. And the bar owner doesn't have to take a chance because the booking guy's saying, no, this band fits your motif, fits what you want. It's your happy hour. They'll go perfect. Yeah. And they can just trust that.
And it brings in the younger musicians too that way.
Right.
Yeah, because like you said, like you'd have to know a manager, owner, or somebody in like the Jamboree USA or something to give you a chance.
I came up around Brett Kane and all them, and there was 3 bands.
Yeah.
There was Brett and a couple other bands, and that was it. And so if you didn't know the bar owners, you weren't getting in. A guy asked me one time, I was tearing down for Brett, and he said, how do I get to play in a bar? I said, I'll give you a list of 30 songs. Learn them.
Yeah.
Play them like you wrote them. And that'll get you in because that's what people want to hear. You got to be a really special talent to get your personal stuff out there in a small area like this and get people to take hold.
Yeah. It's like we all know what songs work in this valley. It's a big risk to yourself to start playing some original stuff or just out of the ordinary, not the Johnny Cash.
Well, you have to seed it in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You have to seed it in. You have to play things that are around the genre you're trying to create, and you need to bring people in that way. You can't just go straight into, here's 12 songs that I wrote. Because it's just in a bar atmosphere, which is where you're going to play at first, you're not going to get the attention.
Right.
They'll turn their back to you and they'll keep talking.
Yeah. He used to kick so many of my buddies out at CD's Irish Pub when I played down there. they would get into it, and I would just hide behind my guitar, and they would look at me like, hey, help me out. Like, I'm in the middle of a song.
Yeah, there's no help.
Sorry. What do you want me to do?
For you. I have people every once in a while come up to me and be like, you threw me out of a bar. I said, you probably did something that deserved that.
Were you bartending at CD's?
No, I was just bouncing.
Just straight bouncing.
I've never bartended in my life, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I just stood there and looked really upset all the time. The more upset I look, the more people behave.
CD's is one of those bars in this area where like the first like 2.5 hours of my set would be one crowd, and all of a sudden everything flips.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, especially when I was there, we established to the point where we were the last bar open. Because if I was there was going to be no problem.
Yeah.
So, like, the owner took it upon herself to just say open that whole time.
Yeah.
And so we'd be open till 3:30 in the morning. You could tell when the hole closed. You could tell when Wakeham closed. Yeah. All the places had closed, and then everybody'd end up there.
Mm-hmm. Half of them immediately to the poker room. Some after the bar,
Yeah, and then, it didn't take me long to make sure that everybody knew that if you messed up, you weren't coming back ever again.
Yeah.
You don't want to ruin the last bar open every night because everybody else is going to go there. They're not kicked out.
Yeah. Was there a certain bar in particular that you bounced that was worse than the others as far as events late at night?
No.
No.
When I bounce, everybody around here knows me.
Yeah.
They know what I do all day long.
Mm-hmm.
That you do not want to be tipsy and try to fight me. Like, and I'm the nicest guy I came up with. You know, I used to dust guys off outside of the bar after I like put them on the ground and say, hey, you're lucky. The guys I came up with to chew you in the hamburger and not think twice of it.
Right.
I'm a nice guy. Where are you going? I'll point you in the right direction. You know.
Yeah, the valley's full of the I watch out when I see red.
Oh, dude. I got a nice saying for that. You see red, but you're going to see black directly after. Okay? I don't care how mad you get. I'm still way more talented than you are.
Well, just the thought of that anger can like somehow produce like more strength or more force into anything.
Well,
like
that's what people that don't know anything say. That's what people that don't know what a real fighter does, and they wouldn't make it very long in our gym. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that he's bouncing and Corey Tosa's bouncing down at the hole now.
Oh, okay.
So they called me, and I've made it well known to the bar owners that I have no interest in bouncing ever again. and so like every once in a while I'll get a call if somebody's in a pinch. Hey, do you have a guy that you trust doing that? And I train my guys to be good people.
Yeah.
Like they're not looking for a fight.
Right.
They get enough fighting in the gym. They go out and they want it to be nice and quiet. So both him and Corey end up working at the hole now.
I remember you saying last time, like you were telling your guys, like stay away from that local rough and rowdy because they do want you to act like a fool. They want you to look.
Well, I'd let them sign up a few times because there was an offer of money.
Yeah.
Like, and for an amateur, if it pays for your equipment, your training, and a few things, that's a really nice bonus.
Mm-hmm.
But like, they just never would accept us because my guys that all text me independently and say, yeah, they want a shit talk video. I don't feel comfortable doing this.
Yeah.
You notice about how much this guy says right now. So like, he doesn't want to get on there and talk shit about somebody. He wants to go in there and wreck somebody's face.
Yeah.
That's what he's about.
Yeah.
He's not about talking about it. He's about being about it. And so the rough and rowdies, it's all a show.
Yeah.
If you take it for what it is, it's just a show. Speaking
of shows, did you catch the Logan Paul Dylan Dana's fight? Did you watch any of that?
Just clips.
Now I have no amount of training whatsoever, but I know to keep my hands up and not just throw a right every single punch.
Yeah, I like these guys are going to keep doing that until people stop giving them money for doing it. They can fight nobodies. They can fight ex-MMA fighters, ex-guys from everything.
Yeah.
They're making revenue everywhere. He's professional wrestling. He's boxing somebody professionally.
And after every sentence,
they're
drink
making
prime,
hundreds of millions of dollars just through promotion.
Yeah.
So, like, as long as people keep giving them money, they're going to keep doing it. It's not fighting. It's not great for the sport, but it's introducing a position where there are paydays outside of your major promotions.
Right, yeah.
Like, the UFC should be worried. Their heavyweight champ left.
Yeah.
And got way more money.
Yeah, a lot.
Way more money to do one thing that he wanted to do. And he's under contract with the PFL.
Yeah, right. So, and they let them go out.
Who's about to buy Bellator. They're all going to consolidate, and there is going to be somewhat of a promotion to go against the UFC. And if they start offering more money, the UFC's greedy. They want more of that percentage than the fighters get.
Yeah.
What if this other promotion decides, well, we'll give up the part of the money that the UFC won't give up. Now they can't compete because I'll go fight nobodies for way more money.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm fighting the best competition in the world. That's pride.
Mm-hmm.
Pride gets you to the championship, and then you're Conor McGregor and you don't fight anymore because you don't have to do it.
Have you seen it? Like, notice a difference after they signed that deal with WWE? Like these face-offs after the fight, and man,
oh,
like,
it's it's way more produced.
The O'Malley and All Joe face-off when that All Joe's buddy stole his jacket. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, they knew the camera angles before he stole the jacket, so I'm like,
the fighters are in on it. It's all like they know that they're selling more money, you know, and the precedent was set with the Mayweather Conor McGregor fight.
right.
Not only did they have the fight, they did a world tour of them going to an arena, shit talking each other, and getting paid the ticket prices for all those people. And you tell me that they weren't getting on the same jet together, flying to the next city and laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
Now this whole thing's set a precedent that that's what's going to make you the most money.
Right.
You have to do that shit.
Yeah. I mean, like, look at the WWE. People will watch it and have a whole culture around it, knowing that it's fake. I mean, that production coming to the UFC is not a bad thing as long as they're being fair. I mean,
well, I did. Again, you asked me the last time I was here if I thought that people would fix fights or anybody would throw.
Oh,
a fight.
yeah.
I that would be so hard to legitimately do and not and it not look like that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of eyes on that ring, and if you do anything uncharacteristic, then people are going to pull that out, and they're going to have 7 angles of it.
Yeah, and especially like you guys watching, who, like you said, like see it almost like in slow mo. There's so many fighters watching that. Some would pick it up and be like, "Hey."
Oh, they do. Like Sean O'Malley's infamous for grabbing the cage when people are trying to take him down.
Yeah.
They'll give you a video of him do it 10 times in a fight. If they can find that, they can find everything else.
Yeah.
So what I think the production level is going to up because of the WWE. I don't think that the matchups might be different.
Yeah.
Because they're going to put who makes the most sense money wise.
Yeah. I look at Tony Ferguson and Paddy Pimblett. Like, if you were like,
I hope he kills Paddy Pimblett and walks off into the sunset like the hero that he is.
I was about to say, what's your guys' take on Paddy? Because
fuck him.
The event I watched where everybody was in Paddy Pimblett wigs, I'm like, this is the first fight everybody's watched. Like, this is the first event any of these people have been to.
Well,
screaming fight of the night. It's a great
story. He does things his own way. It's awesome. He's got a weird haircut. He talks a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You know, he balloons up in between fights.
I think he's going to stop that.
Himself. But like, it's a lot of hype.
Yeah.
And until it's actually tested, I mean, Tony Ferguson is a gatekeeper of all gatekeepers. Good Lord.
Yeah.
That's not the guy you want to catch on the way out because he might just put one together for you.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. In my heart, I want Ferguson to knock him out and then retire.
That'd be nice.
Because, God help us, he doesn't need to be taking these wars anymore.
Just like, I remember like when he was fighting Benyel Dariush, just like letting him snap his leg because he just didn't want to lose. And
yeah, it's a different breed.
Yeah.
That's a different breed of people. You know, we're all tough, but there's some that they go that extra little mile that we're all like,
yeah.
You know, I was telling you before we started, his opponent, he picked him up off the ground with a left hook. I might have quit right then. I watched his feet leave the ground. I was like, good Lord.
To the body, too. He's like,
right. Right in the sternum. Just picked him up off the ground, you know.
Was there a point in that fight where you thought, like, I got this? Or you thought, like, everything was coming together? Or is it like a war from beginning to end?
At first, I felt like I had it, but then it started in my mind like, hey, this is a war.
Really?
Like, but I just got to stay composed and just keep feeding power shots, and I think I got this.
Well, for the most part, he's been putting people down. So when a guy doesn't go down, he's like, this is odd. But we prepare for that. That's what that's why we work so hard, is that he can fight bell to bell. I tell him all the time, I said, if you knock somebody out, that's great, but that's not what we're going in there trying to do.
Right.
If it's there, take it. But we're going in there trying to fight them from bell to bell and win.
So say, what would be the next step from somebody that doesn't know a lot about boxing? Like, how much, like, say you win the tournament, when do you make like a jump to professional? Like, how many wins like of amateur do you need? How many tournaments do you need before, or is it
really turning pro is a decision by you and a promoter?
Okay.
Like a promoter sees enough in you that they'll turn you pro, and you work your way up through that promotion, and you get competition. The competition steadily gets better. Right now, this is a fast track. This tournament's a fast track to that for him.
Yeah.
He's at a level, he's at a talent, he's at an age where it's that time to make that step. So he fights through this tournament, wins this tournament. He wants to fight the Wheeling Tough Man and win the Wheeling Tough Man because he deserves it. He's been very close a few times, but the training's been different. He got with me. We've fixed a lot of the errors, and I think he's going to absolutely dominate the Wheeling Tough Man, so that's out of his mind. And then we'll work closely with the promoters on the next step, which will be him prize fighting for money.
And then you'll get on this podcast and just start talking mad shit. We'll put those clips out.
Maybe a few fights in, when he's making bigger money and he's digging less, he'll be a little bit more energetic.
Digging less, I'll make you out some cocktails. We'll get in there and be like, I heard he said this and this.
We'll send it to the opponents, and they can hear everything we say.
You're right.
Now, I'm known for being vocal in the state, so the other fighters and the other gyms know if I think something, I'm going to say it.
I want to have a target on my back, and all I do is play guitar just from having you guys in here.
We got you.
Okay, nice. So you were saying before we, during break, something about Pittsburgh sports.
Oh yeah.
What's your take on Pittsburgh?
Well, I mean, other than the fact that the Steelers the fans are the problem. They're like the rest of the country hates us because of how good we are, and it's not that. It's that they're the most annoying fan base to watch act all over. Like Philadelphia's crazy; those people stab you in the neck. But like the Steelers people, I just enjoy when they cry. Like I enjoy the tears of the Steelers fan. Their team's a great team.
Yeah.
Like and they're in a rebuilding time right now. And if they had any other fan base, it would be okay. But they have the Steelers fan base. The Steelers fan base will not put up with 2 losses without wanting everybody's head.
Everybody, yeah.
Mike Tomlin's got to be fired tomorrow. Well, if they fire him tomorrow, 4 minutes later, he has another job.
Right.
Because everybody would love to have a coach like him.
Yeah, he's on the chop. It seems like he's on the chopping block for no reason.
Well,
like
and every time Ben Roethlisberger would lose a couple games, they'd turn on him. They'd want his head and what he'd do, and that's why I had a lot of respect for him. His personal life, on the other hand, I don't. But football player wise, he would put 6 touchdowns on the next game.
Yeah,
and then he silently flip off the fan base and be like, yeah, you wanted me gone, and now I'm your savior again. And they've done it to every quarterback they've ever had.
Yeah.
Neil O'Donnell only threw interceptions in a Super Bowl game. He took them to the Super Bowl, threw some interceptions. They ushered him out of town. Tom Maddox came in, tried to save the day, and they threw garbage on his front lawn. They made Cordell Stewart cry on the field. How horrible do you have to be to make your quarterback cry on the field?
See, that's like what Philly fans will do when they win.
Well, yeah, they're
when they win this. Man, if you watch videos of the streets of Philly after a Super Bowl win or anything, man.
Yeah, it's a crazy place, Philadelphia. Yeah. My first fight was in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It was a crazy outdoor event, and I was the main event. I didn't know that wasn't a good thing until much later on.
So, if you wanted to fight across state lines, what would you have to do? Do you have to get your license in another state to participate, or if you have your West Virginia one, you can kind of go around?
You'd have to get a boxing license in that state.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to get licensed through everybody's state commission. Usually it's a nominal fee of like $25.
Okay.
You know, there's nothing crazy.
There's not like any joint states or anything like that. It's all
no.
Okay.
And when I first started fighting, like they didn't check anything. I didn't have. They weren't licensing anything. The doctor'd come up to you, grab your arm, look at your eyes, and go, "You're good."
All right. So before I let you guys go, December 2nd.
Yeah, Parkersburg South High School.
Parkersburg South High School.
December 2nd. That'll be the second round of the tournament. There'll be pro fights on the card as well. We'll probably try to sneak one of our other fighters on this card, just on an off match if they've got some room. Since it's the second part of the bracket, there should be some room for other fights. And we'll be looking for sponsors all the way through the fight. It helps him pay for training. It helps him dedicate his time, his off time, and buy equipment and upgrade equipment and stuff like that.
Looking for sponsors. Sponsor Steven Carnage Carney right now, going into King of the Mountain State round 2. I want to thank you guys for coming in. Get you guys both in here back soon.
Well, it's time to eat now.
It's time to eat. Yeah.
Yep.
My wife's bringing the newborn back home any second now, so I get to stay up all night.
That's the best time.
Yeah, that's why I'm getting the episode out tomorrow. I'll just be editing all night, listening to screaming.
Hang out.